Today we're talking about geography, and it's a great topic. We're going to be again approaching our shelf from left to right and top to bottom. So we have lots of projects to go over. So we'll just get right to it. So the very first thing when you're teaching geography is teaching left from right. And so, first of all, I wanted to show you, it doesn't have to be expensive to do this. You can use things from around your house or make materials very easily. So I saved oatmeal lids from oatmeal containers, lids from old, when you buy a tub of frosting, the lid. Anytime you have a nice circular lid, save it. You want all different sizes, and there's lots of projects you can do with them. So I'll share that with you. Tons of stuff. Telling time, you can trace these for clocks. Teaching hemisphere and geography, you can use these for tracing. So please save all your plastic lids. Also save all your cardboard because you're going to make labels, the different directions, left and right, and with other Montessori materials, you'll want things, cardboard, to mount easy words that you can print out. And then I saved this piece of cardboard that was really cool. I don't remember where I got it free. You can get free cardboard at your store. Just ask them to save boxes and then pick them up in the morning after they stock the shelves. So this is L for left and R for right. Now I traced not these particular ones. These particular ones are for a child to make their own project. For this, I got a bowl. I think it was a glass bowl, and just traced it. So you're going to teach left and right, north, south, east, and west with this one free piece of cardboard. So I did this on the front, and on the back, I put the two sides, but I put just letters. Actually, I forgot to put these letters here. So let me just quickly do that. Go. So north, south, east, and west, a lot of times you'll just see the letter represented on a map. So you would do 3-period lesson teaching left and right, and then 3-period lesson teaching north, south, east, and west. And if your child's younger, you can write it with a lowercase, but in language, whenever you're doing a direction, it's capitalized. So I went ahead and wrote it capitalized. So a 3-period lesson, I have another video on that. You would do that to teach those items, but I don't need to make the video longer to bore you. So you know how to do that. You can watch my other video for 3-period lessons. So you'd explain this to your child, and test them to know that they've got the information left and right, because when we talk about the globe, we're going to talk about how it's cut in half, and the left and right hemisphere, the western and eastern, hemispheres. So this is what this is the precursor of, and why we're doing that. Okay, and then this, so that they can use a compass, they can learn to see this on a map, and then how a map is made. So this is the very beginning. And the next project, I think, I used another bowl, but you can use one of these lids for the child to create their own globe. So first, what we're going to do is introduction to the globe, and then we'll talk about how to make a flat globe. So we'll do introduction to the globe, since we've done our north, south, east, and west and stuff. Okay. So here's my globe. If you just have a small one, it'll still work. So we're going to talk about the globe. This is a globe. And what it is a picture of the earth. It's a model of the whole earth that we live on. It's a ball. It's a round ball. If they've learned their geometric shapes, which I have a lesson on, you would say it's a sphere. And around the sphere is a thin layer of air. around the earth. And that's where you see the clouds when you look up. It's all around the earth. Okay, so we learned north, south, east, and west. And so we have the north is up here, and the south is down here. This is called the South Pole, and this is called the North Pole. And the earth turns around like this. And if they've learned to tell time and they understand 24 hours in a day, you can explain again. 24 hours, the earth will rotate, and that will be one day. Okay, so you can explain that to them. And then what you can also explain is the middle line. The equator is where it's half. And you have north and you have south, like that. And then you want to explain that on a map, they cut this in half like this. To show us all of the earth at one time, they want to show it flat, so they just have to cut this in half and lay it down. So they cut it into two pieces like this. Okay, so you can talk about that, but also you want to talk about the water and the land. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I have another project to teach that. But first of all, you want to say they cut it in half just to show us on a map. But the earth isn't cut in half. Just the picture of the earth. So they cut it in half to be able to show us all of the earth on a map. And then you can bring out examples of a map. You know, here's like a geography book. And then I'll show in another video some examples of maps. If you have a picture of the earth and you can talk about the swirling air around the earth, the atmosphere, and how the clouds are above the land, you can do that. In Montessori, they have several globes. They have one that is blue and brown, and it's very similar to my very cheap version, which I made with construction paper. Is the blue is water, and the brown, which this isn't brown, I don't have all the globes because I don't think you need it, but the brown part they have as like sandpaper, and the child can feel the difference. Where the land is sandpaper brown, and where the water is, it's smooth and it's water and it's blue. Okay, so that's the land and water globe that Montessori has. Then they have another globe that has the colors, different colors for different continents, but not how it's broken up, just the different continents, not countries. And so then it's a continent globe, and you can talk about the 7 continents and teach your child the 7 continents. But I have done that many times without having that specific globe. Once you teach them about how this transfers to a map, I just use a map. And then we can use the globe to back it up. So this is a fun project, you know, in your kind of craft area. I had just traced a bowl, and you can do that with a lid, or a lid of your bowl, and trace it. And then they just tear out paper, the brown paper, and glue it on there for the land, so they can talk about the water and the land. And then I put the NSEW for north, south, east, and west after they've had that lesson. So you have construction paper, blue and brown up here. And you can have a lid up here, some pencils, some glue, and I even have a tray that they can gather up the things and take it, you know, to the table to work on. And I did smaller ones, so you can use this size, And then if you want to use a half sheet, you can use this size. But either way, it's the same principle and it will work. All right. There you go. So that's that lesson up here. And using your globe, you can explain the continents and the land and the water. But you don't need to have every globe different. Okay, so I'm going to put this back, but we'll keep referring back to this throughout our geography lesson. But this is kind of the very first left and right, north, south, east, and west you can do in 2 lessons. 1 lesson, depending on how young or old they are. If they're very young, left and right is about it for the first lesson. If they're a little older, you can do both of these. If they get this easy, you can do this. If they're struggling with this, don't try to do north, south, east, and west. So it depends on your child. If they get it really quick, you can move to the next phase. And then if not, just stop. But this can be a whole nother lesson after this. So, and then it's a craft project with it. And so that is the very introduction to geography. And then we'll move to the next project in the next video. I hope that was helpful. Please subscribe, like, and continue watching. And tell your friends. Thank you so much.